Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I sprained my ankle when I jumped off the roof with a board with bouncy balls glued on the bottom trying to bounce everywhere. It doesn't work in real life. I don't think I've ever wanted an episode to do well more than the Super Smash Bros. One. It was just so cool to have these video game characters duke it out and see which one would be victorious. So I decided to do the same thing with literature characters, a sort of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen type battle. Yeah, it's going to be all of them. Don Quixote versus Zorro, Sherlock Holmes versus James Bond, Cthulhu versus Smog, not just the characters from those comics, just any character from books. And I know there's going to be some characters that you don't know about, like Gargantua and Pantagruel, but that's okay. I will do my best to explain. For instance, those are just giants. That's all you really need to know about them. If you got that, you're good. And also, I have 3 rules for you all. Rule number 1, no preparation time. Rule number 2, you're only allowed to carry equipment that you would normally carry. Rule number 3, if you are an immortal, all the other character has to do is get you down to the point where you can no longer fight anymore. And actually, I have a final rule here for you. If, and this is just if, the character is said to have an infinite amount of powers, I'm only going to be looking at the ones they use in the book, because I can't be certain how much abilities these characters have. I can't say for sure what Asen is able to do. I can only look at what he does in the stories. With that said, let us see who is the ultimate literature character. When I looked through this list, there were a lot of surprises. For instance, some characters that I didn't think would do very well, like Jane Eyre, actually did a lot better than I expected. She was able to take down Dorothy Gale and Alice Liddell. I just put her here as a joke. I expected her to get last place. But good for her. And then we have characters like Don Quixote, who is not that bad. We may take him as a joke, but he's an exceptional fighter. He's won several duels. He's got a sword and shield. He's going to do better than Frank and Joe Hardy, who only have, like, magnifying glasses and flashlights. And then we have the characters that did a lot worse than I expected. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I thought would be, like, winners. I thought they would be at least in the Beast category. But the truth is, this isn't an accurate representation of Hyde. He's a lot smaller in the books. And in my opinion, I think Jane Eyre could take him down. I don't have too much confidence in Hyde. And Dr. Fu Manchu, the Chinese scientist, he just has fungi. He's not going to do very well in this fight. But I just wanted to make a note here. I know I call these characters weaklings, but they are honestly really good fighters. It's just that they're going to battle with some of the most powerful creatures in existence. That exist in our imagination, of course. But anyways, they're not really weaklings. It's just that's the best name that I could come up with. Something I should note about the Invisible Man, as pictured here, is that he's the powerful individual. I mean, being able to not be seen is a good strength to have in a fight. All he has to do is keep quiet and he could just choke you in your sleep. He could easily be in the Magician section. The reason I put him in the Beast section is because the Beast could smell him, and that pretty much just takes him down. But yeah, I understand if you want to make the argument that he should be higher than this. You can debate me in the comments. But there are some really strong characters in this battle. Beowulf could take down Grendel with his super strength, and Tarzan of the Apes can take down elephants. It actually makes a lot of sense in the book. They go to great lengths to explain why this one man could take down an entire elephant by himself. And then we have Amadis of Gaul, someone I'm sure most of you don't know about. But he was just a knight who could kill giants, and I have to assume that he has some kind of super strength. But anyways, these are my picks for who I think would be the most powerful, and yeah, they're all very strong. This time, the Weaponeer list isn't composed of a lot of characters. It's just James Bond, Sherlock Holmes, Long John Silver, and Alan Quatermain. And if you don't know who Alan Quatermain is, he was just the explorer, Indiana Jones type of his time. But yeah, it really comes down to just that James Bond has the Walter PPK. I mean, he's going to win. He's a pretty good gunsman. I know that Sherlock Holmes really shouldn't be on this list, that he should be much lower if he is, but I just like Sherlock Holmes. I'm sorry, but he's going to be on here. Just going to have to deal with it. There are characters on the Magician list that are more powerful than Bayonetta, our previous winner. I mean, when you're talking Aslan and Sauron, I don't even know how to begin to figure out what they're capable of doing. I did the absolute best I could just looking at the powers they had in the books, which made them extremely powerful, but oddly enough, not as powerful as Voldemort, who I think is the winner. With that said, there are gunsmen that could take down Voldemort. But here's the thing about that. Yeah, maybe the gunsmen could pull out their gun faster than Voldemort could pull out a stick and say a crazy word. But the gunsmen in this list aren't very good gunsmen. Alan Quatermain has the big elephant gun, which would be a little bit hard to shoot in fighting range, and Long John Silver has one leg, so he's kind of hobbling. And I'm sorry to make that. I didn't mean to make fun of people that have one leg. I know where you're coming from. I have a sprained ankle. And, I think Sherlock Holmes is more of a bookworm. I guess he might be a pretty good shot. And James Bond is a bit funnier. He doesn't shoot unless he's absolutely sure someone's going to kill him. And if he sees some old man pulling out a stick and saying some funny words, he might not pull the trigger. It's just, if you have moral ground in this fighting realm, you're going to die. It's a bad thing to have. But anyways, those were my decisions. I do think Voldemort is the most powerful. It's just, all he has to do is say Avada Kedavra and you're dead, you know? I mean, how are you supposed to fight that? And now, finally, we have the gods. So, the gods list is comprised of Mary Poppins, Pennywise, and Cthulhu. And, yeah, this is a very close battle. Mary Poppins has an advantage against all these other characters because all she has to do is think, and something will happen. And that's better than having to wave your wand or say a magic word. That gives you a huge advantage. Pennywise, though, I did go with because he can do the same thing, and it's much more violent. And he can turn into these horrible monsters. I do think Mary Poppins might be able to take him down. I understand if you think that she could win. But I still had to go with Pennywise as a bit more powerful. But let's face it, no one is going to beat Cthulhu. I knew when I made this list, Cthulhu was going to be the winner. He's this gigantic, H.P. Lovecraftian monster with the huge wings, can survive underwater, and if you look at him, you go crazy. That might have been the first thing I should have mentioned, because it's definitely the thing that makes him the winner. I mean, what are you supposed to do if just looking at him drives you mad? Maybe it wouldn't work on it. Maybe it's just too crazy. But even so, Cthulhu could just push him down and just hold him there, and he wins. So yeah, no one beats Cthulhu. So those are my picks for the most powerful characters in literature. And I feel I did a pretty good job. I mean, no one's going to beat Cthulhu. Cthulhu is everything. But anyways, next time I'm going to do characters from comics. I'm doing Marvel and DC. I'm just going to do them all. And this is going to be an exceptional fight. You won't want to miss this. I don't think there's going to be any weaklings on this list. Except maybe Batman. Batman will probably die. But anyways, if you excuse me, I'm just going to go ahead and limp off here. I've got a lot of work to do. Got a trip to go on.